think we are on live, right? I think my voice is clear now, na? I think my voice is clear. It's just a minute. Clear now, na? Okay. Chalo. So, hello students. Welcome to Easy to Learning. So this is the next session of probability suggestions. तो हम लोग कल प्रोबेबिलिटी का चैप्टर 1, चैप्टर 2 और चैप्टर 3 डिस्कस किया ना। तो आज चैप्टर 4 से स्टार्ट करना, ठीक है? चलो तो देखते हैं। तो one small announcement for all students. BTech who are present in BTech third sems and BTech first sem. जो BTech फर्स्ट सेम का जो सारे स्टूडेंट है ना और BTech थर्ड सेम का जो सारे स्टूडेंट है, तुम लोगों के लिए एक अनाउंसमेंट है। तो आई थिंक योर एग्जाम विल स्टार्ट ऑन 13th मार्च, राइट? तो आप 13 मार्च से आप लोगों का एग्जाम स्टार्ट होगा। तो उसका एग्जाम आई थिंक फिनिश होने के लिए कितना दिन है? आई थिंक फिनिश 28 तक फिनिश हो जाएगा ना। हाँ ठीक है। तो उसके बाद हम बीटेक का जो ट्यूशन है ना, अपकमिंग फोर्थ सेमिस्टर एंड सेकेंड सेमिस्टर का जो ट्यूशन है वो स्टार्ट होगा 1 अप्रैल से। ऑल दो स्टूडेंट्स जो चाहते हैं मतलब अच्छे से गाइडेंस मिले अपकमिंग फोर्थ सेमिस्टर के लिए एंड सेकेंड सेमिस्टर के लिए, तो हमारा जो नया बैच शुरू होगा ना 1 अप्रैल से, तो उसमें ज्वाइन कर सकता है। आई थिंक हियर everybody knows the number of the easy to learning. I write the number 8 5 8 4 8 6 4 7 8 3। इस नंबर पे कॉल कीजिए एंड एडमिशन के बारे में डिटेल्स आप सुन लीजिए। हाँ ठीक है। तो this is small announcement about the BTech tuition of 4th semester and second semester, right? तो बैच कब स्टार्ट होगा? बैच स्टार्ट होगा 1 अप्रैल से। चलो तो हम कल वाले जो क्लास था उस क्लास में चैप्टर 3 डिस्कस किया, राइट? तो आज शुरू करने जा रहा है चैप्टर 4। चैप्टर 4 में क्या क्या चीज है देखो। चैप्टर 4 में है स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ डिस्क्रीट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन। In chapter 4 we discuss about the special type of discrete distribution, right? So स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ डिस्क्रीट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में क्या क्या है देखो। स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इज ऑल अबाउट द बायनोमियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, राइट? सो everybody knows about the binomial distribution. I think you all knows about the binomial distribution. We first discuss about some theory portions, some important keywords, tools, etc. After that we discuss some problems of this chapter, and next we start chapter 5, and after that next start we chapter 6, right? In this way we discuss. तो चलो binomial distribution क्या है ना, a discrete random variable x is said to have binomial distribution with parameter p lies on 0 to 1, p 0 से स्टार्ट होगा एंड 1 तक चलेगा ना, तो p lies on 0 to 1 and n be any positive integer, then its distribution is given by, in this way we can represent the distribution. X is a 0 1 2 up to n, and fi is a f0 f1 f2 up to fn, right? Then where pmf is a what, pmf of fi is p of x equal to I, then nci, this means nci, right? I think you know about the nci, and p to the power I into 1 minus p whole to the power n minus I. This is the binomial distribution ka formula, right? This is about the binomial distribution ka formula. And for instance, the one probability mass, for one probability mass, right? That is f1. We put a I equal to 1, then we get f1, right? This is a one probability mass. So f1 is a what? nc1 p 1 minus p whole to the power n minus 1, right? nc1 means what? N, that is np 1 minus p whole to the power n minus 1, right? This is the one probability mass, and another one is a binomial distribution like this. Okay, all right. Okay. Then there is some notes about the PMF Fi satisfy the two fundamental properties, Fi greater than equal to 0 and summation of I equal to 0 to n Fi equal to 1. This is easily verified. This is some notes on binomial. And another one is when the random variable x has binomial distribution with parameter np, then we can write x is the equivalent to BNP, and we say x is a binomial variable. This is the some important tools for solving the mathematical problems. So you recall these three keynotes, okay, for this chapter. We first form special type of distribution, special type of discrete distribution, and then for this special type of distribution में क्या क्या चीज है, देखो फर्स्ट बायनोमियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है, तो बायनोमियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का फॉर्मूला हम देख लिया, तो उसके बाद क्या है ना, some key notes on this binomial distribution, right? So 1 2 3, the significance of the parameter n and p would be given thus for in subsequent theorem. Okay, and this is the some reading portion, case where binomial distribution is fits. एक बार रीड कर लेना, ठीक है, अच्छे से एक बार रिकॉल कर लेना, ठीक है. Just read this paragraph, okay. This is not more important, you everybody knows about the what is the binomial law. The in this portion, इस portion में ना binomial law का जो form है, this is very important. Okay, all right. Okay, so we represent the distribution f x becomes this way, right? X is 0 1 2 3 up to n, and fi is a f0 f1 f2 up to fn, right? Then fi is a, this is the form of binomial distribution, which is the PMF of the binomial distribution. Okay, and the number of success in n independent trials in a binomial variate with parameter p equal to probability of success in a single trial, and n is the number of trials. Okay, all right. Okay, chalo. Next, there is some example. I think you already see the example. The efficiency of fighter plane is such that the probability of bomb hitting target is 2 by 5. The fighter is assigned the completely destroy the camp of enemy side. The plane carries 6 bombs. 6 bombs can be aimed at the camp where throwing the bomb in the experiment. It can be repeated 6 times. The bomb hits the camp is equal to success, and x is the number of success in 6 trials, right? Then the binomial distribution of x. So here what is the binomial? Here we want to know the binomial distribution of x, right? So बायनोमियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ एक्स क्या होगा ये देखना पड़ेगा. तो एक्स एंड एफ आई एक्स क्या है 0 1 2 3 अप टू 6 मीन्स हियर इज 6 ट्रायल ना. प्रॉब्लम में कितना नंबर ऑफ ट्रायल है प्रॉब्लम में 6 ट्रायल है. ओके एंड एफ आई इज मीन्स मीन्स फ्रीक्वेंसी कितना होगा F0 F1 F2 F3 F4 F5 F6 right. Then Fi means we can represent as a Fi in this way from the binomial form. Okay. If it is known that at least 4 direct hits are necessary to destroy the camp, then the probability of complete destruction of the camp that is what 4 hits. So P of probability of 4 hits at least 4 hits means P of x less than equal to 4. So we have to find the value of Px less than equal to 4. Then Ps less than equal to 4 means Px equal to 4, x equal to 5, x equal to 6. Actually कितना number of trial है 6 trial है and at least 4 trial direct hits necessary to destroy the camp. So 4 is minimal trial. तो 4 के बाद क्या होगा 5 and 6 दो ट्रायल और है तो दो ट्रायल तो P लेस देन P x लेस देन इक्वल टू 4 इक्वल टू क्या होगा x इक्वल टू 4 x इक्वल टू 5 and x इक्वल टू 6. That's all. Right? Okay. Next एक थ्योरम है देखो x has a binomial distribution with parameter n and p then the mean is np. Very important result for your upcoming एग्जाम थर्ड सेमिस्टर एग्जामिनेशंस. क्या है ना एक्स बायनोमियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है विथ पैरामीटर एन एंड पी. पैरामीटर क्या होगा एन एंड पी होगा देन मीन क्या होगा एन पी एंड वेरिएंस इज व्हाट वेरिएंस इज एन पी क्यू वेयर क्यू इज द 1 minus p. ऑलराइट दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थ्योरम एंड प्रूफ का भी जरूरत है तो एक बात देख लेना. सपोज x का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन क्या होगा x इज 0 to n राइट. ओके एंड fi का फॉर्मूला है pmf of fi using binomial law I can write px equal to I equal to क्या nci p to the power I and 1 minus p whole to the power n minus I. Alright, then we can write as a fi we already get the value of fi and the mean what is the formula of mean e of x equal to summation of ifi right. Then we put the value of fi and then get the value of mean. Okay, statement क्या था mean is np and variance is npq. So after putting the value of fi we get the value np right. Just put the value in fi. Okay, then we get the value np and after that variance. So variance means sigma. ठीक. तो सिग्मा के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा देखो e of x minus x into x minus 1 ये फाइंड करना पड़ेगा. तो एक्सपेक्टेशन ऑफ x into x minus 1 क्या होगा I x into x minus 1 राइट. एक्सपेक्टेशन ऑफ x into x minus 1 इसको फाइंड करना पड़ेगा. देखो एक बार मैं छोटा कर देता हूँ चलो. हाँ तो वेरिएंस इज एनपीक्यू राइट. तो वेरिएंस का फॉर्म के लिए ई एक्स इंटू एक्स माइनस 1 का जरूरत है. ओके तो उसको कैलकुलेशन करने के बाद हम मिलेगा एनपीक्यू. तो दिस प्रूफ इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट आपको रिकॉल करना ही पड़ेगा. तो ये वाले प्रूफ ये वाले थ्योरम बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट थ्योरम. नेक्स्ट और एक प्रॉब्लम है, एक बार देख लीजिए, an unbiased dash is tosses 4 times, then the multiple of 3 be success, otherwise is failure. Then where p is the probability of success in a single trial, what is the probability of a success in single trial? 2 by 6, right? Okay. And x is a number of multiples of 3 appears in among these 4 trials, and we discussed before x as a binomial distribution with parameter n equal to 4, p equal to 1 by 3, then expected number of multiple 3 equal to the mean of x and the standard. This is a small little example. I think everybody knows about the example. Everybody seen, ना? Previous in हम क्लास में ये वाले एग्जाम्पल शायद डिस्कस किया जब क्लास लिया ना, प्रीवियस सेम में जब क्लास लिया तब ये सारे एग्जाम्पल शायद बोला। तो मोमेंट्स ऑफ बायनोमियल्स लॉ, ये मोमेंट्स में क्या एक थ्योरम है, say x is a binomial distribution with parameter n and p, then moments about the zero, that is mu dash mu 1 dash equal to np, mu 2 dash equal to n into n minus 1 p square plus np, mu 3 dash equal to n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 p cube plus 3n into n minus 1 p square plus np. This is basic result of moments of binomial value, right? Okay, and this is a one problem, right? The mean of standard deviation of binomial distribution are respectively 4 and 8 root 3, right? Mean and standard deviations are given. Okay, so mean means np, np is 4, and standard deviations means root over of npq, right? Npq means root over of npq means 1 minus p. All right, so मीन का वैल्यू क्या होगा है, मीन का वैल्यू गिवन है ना, मीन का वैल्यू गिवन इज एनपी इक्वल टू 4 एंड स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन का वैल्यू क्या है, गिवन है रूट ओवर 8 बाय 3, दिस इज गिवन, स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन का वैल्यू आल्सो गिवन, देन वी कैन राइट np equal to 4 and np into 1 minus p equal to 8 by 3. Just we put the square in both sides, then we get this, and after that we get the binomial distribution, right? For these we get the value of n and p for these two equations, and after that we get the binomial distribution. Okay, all right, I think problem is clear, and this is very important problem for your upcoming third semester examinations, right? And special type of discrete distribution is a very much important chapter. आपका एग्जाम के लिए, अपकमिंग एग्जाम के लिए ये वाले चैप्टर वेरी 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 इंपॉर्टेंट, तो बी केयरफुल. And this is another short question, comment of a statement, a binomial variate has a mean 4 and standard deviation 3, right? So mean 4 means np4 and standard deviation means root over npq, that is np into 1 minus p equal to 3. Then for these we get the value np into 1 minus p equal to 9, right? Just calculation, if we take the square in both sides, then we get np into 1 minus p equal to 9. Then after that, after calculating this, we get p equal to minus 5 by 4, and minus 5 by 4 not lies in 0 to 1, so this is not possible, so statement is false. Clear? Clear to all? I think all the problems is still now clear, and all the keynotes, all the statement, all the theorem is all clear now, na? If you feel any difficulty, any doubts, any दिक्कत हो तो बताना please. right? Next problem. This is the next important problem. The mean of the binomial distribution is 3 and the variance is 3 by 2. Find the probability of obtaining at most 3 success. This is very important problem. I think স্যার সেম এটা একটু গ্রুপে দিয়ে দেবে রাধাকৃষ্ণ কি গ্রুপে দিয়ে দেব লাইভটা অ্যাটেন্ড করো রাধাকৃষ্ণ So this is the example 3. So example 3, this is very important problem, right? Same problem. First finding Fi and using this Fi finding P is what? Then after finding P, at most 3 success. At most 3 success mean we have to find P of X less than equal to 3. At most 3 success. So P less than equal to a P x of a P of X less than equal to 3 means what? P of X equal to 0 plus P of X equal to 1 plus P of X equal to 2 plus P of X equal to 3. This is the case, right? So I think it's clear to all. And next problem, next very important type of problems for chapter 4, like a special type of discrete distribution का और एक problem है. The probability of pen manufactured by a company will defective is 1 by 10. If 12 such pens are manufactured, then find the probability that one exactly 2 will defective and none will defective and at least 2 will defective, right? So 3 case. Here we have a 3 case, right? Exactly 2 will defective. Like exactly 2 will defective means we have to find P of X equal to 2, right? And exactly none will be defective. None will be defective means P of X equal to 0, right? And at least 2 will defective. That's why at least 2 will defective means P of X greater equal to 2. P of X greater equal to 2 means ki what? P of X greater equal to 2 means 1 minus P of X less than 2. Okay? Alright. Chalo. So example 4 is very important. I think everybody understand about the type of this example. All these type of example finding main finding things is uh, P of something X, and X has some nature like X at least at most 3 this is the nature, like X has at most 3 success, and this is the nature. Exactly 2 will defective. None will be defective. At least 2 will be defective, right? This is the nature of X. Okay. Okay. Next another important problem. I think so. This problem solution is already here given. This is very important problem. A family has 6 children. Okay, this is very important problem, and these represent another type of problem. ये वाले प्रॉब्लम भी अनदर टाइप को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है. A family has 6 children. Find the probability that 3 boys and 3 girls and fewer boys than girls. Right? So family has 6 children, right? So 6 children means boy means success. Here boy means success. Okay, let boy equal to success. The experiments of noticing whether the child is boy or girl repeated 6 times. X is the number of boy, that is number of success. So total 6 children and P equal to what? The child being boy is the 1/2, right? Okay. So Fi, we find Fi first, then the probability of 3 boys and 3 girls, then P of X equal to 3. 3 boys and 3 girls as that's why we can write P of X equal to 3, and 3 probability of fewer boys than girls means P of X less than equal to 2. Fewer boys than girls, right? 3 girls. So fewer boys than girls means what? Less than equal to 2. Up to 2. Maximum is value goes to 2. Okay. This is another important types of problem. देखो भाई, हम फर्स्ट दिन से यही बोल रहा हूँ, मतलब हम टाइप के ऊपर फोकस करें, सेवरल टाइप्स ऑफ प्रॉब्लम के ऊपर फोकस करें. हाँ, तो हम पिछले दिन जो फर्स्ट चैप्टर, सेकेंड चैप्टर एंड थर्ड चैप्टर डिस्कस किया ना, उस चैप्टर में सारे टाइप हम डिस्कस कर दिया. इस टाइप का प्रॉब्लम इंपॉर्टेंट है, इस टाइप का प्रॉब्लम इंपॉर्टेंट है, इस टाइप का प्रॉब्लम इंपॉर्टेंट है, ऐसे करके सारी टाइप डिस्कस कर दिया. एंड आज भी सेम चीज कर रहा है. चैप्टर 4 से स्टार्ट किया. पिछले दिन चैप्टर 1, चैप्टर 2, चैप्टर 3 ऑलरेडी कवर कर लिया. तो आज स्टार्ट किया चैप्टर 4 से, और बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम दे दिया, बहुत सारे टाइप का प्रॉब्लम दे दिया. देखो, कोई प्रॉब्लम में डाउट होगा तो कमेंट करना, और हमारा जो सारे ग्रुप है ना इजी टू लर्निंग का, थर्ड सेमेस्टर का सारे ग्रुप है, उस ग्रुप में ज्वाइन हो जाना. उस ग्रुप में डाउट शेयर करना. हम हमारा इजी टू लर्निंग का जो टीम है ना, वो सारे प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर देंगे आप लोगों के लिए. देखो, सारे प्रॉब्लम में सॉल्व कराऊंगा तो मतलब बहुत टाइम लग जाएगा. मतलब बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम है ना. देखो, एक एक चैप्टर में एटलीस्ट 5 to 8 टाइप का प्रॉब्लम है. तो ये 5 to 8 टाइप का प्रॉब्लम मैं सॉल्व कराऊंगा, मतलब इस सजेशन क्लास में, तो मतलब बहुत टाइम लगेगा ना. तो इसीलिए हम थोड़ा बहुत क्वेश्चन दे दिया और थोड़ा बहुत हिंट भी दे दिया. तो तुम सॉल्व करने का कोशिश करो. सॉल्व नहीं होगा तो मतलब तुम लोगों को तो क्वेश्चन ही चाहिए ना, मतलब ये वाले क्वेश्चन इंपॉर्टेंट है, इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन चाहिए. तुम मतलब ये स्टूडेंट लोगों का फोकस क्या होता है ना, सब ऐसा फोकस होता है, मतलब क्वेश्चन, क्वेश्चन दीजिए, क्वेश्चन दीजिए सर, सजेशन दीजिए, सजेशन दीजिए, सजेशन का क्वेश्चन दीजिए. ये यही फोकस होता है सारे स्टूडेंट का. तो So, on base of these focus, we discuss all types of important formula of these chapters, all types of important theorem of this chapter, all type of properties of this chapter, and after that we discuss what is the important types of problem of this chapter. Right? So, चलो देख लो. तो और एक प्रॉब्लम है, a die is tosses thrice, a success is getting 1 or 6 on a toss, find the mean and variance sorry, find the mean and variance of the number of success. Okay, so mean means we already know NPQ, and variance is a NPQ, right? So using the first property, we see this. What is the formula of mean? Mean is NP and variance is NP, right? And here this is a standard deviation. That's why we write NPQ, root over NPQ, right? So what is the formula of standard deviation? Standard deviation का formula क्या है? Standard deviation का formula root over of sigma equal to root over of variance. This is the formula of the standard deviations, right? Example, another one example, find if x is a binomial distributed with ex equal to 2 and variance x equal to 4 by 3, find the distribution of x is what? And we have ex equal to 2 and variance x equal to 4 by 3, then solve this of x. Okay, alright. I think clear to all everyone. Please comment. जो स्टूडेंट लाइव में है प्लीज कमेंट करना. आप लोगों को कमेंट के बिना ना इंटरेस्टिंग नहीं लगता है क्लास का. जो सारे क्वेश्चन है ना इस सजेशन से ही आएगा. मतलब इस सजेशन अच्छे से फॉलो करने के बाद ना आपको कुछ नहीं मतलब चाहिए. दिस इज एनफ. वी गिव मोर एंड मोर प्रॉब्लम. चलो नेक्स्ट. After that we discuss the Poisson distribution, right? So what is the Poisson distribution? So what is the definition of Poisson distribution? So this is a Poisson distribution. A discrete random variable x is said to be have a Poisson distribution with parameter mu greater than 0. Then distribution, what is the represent of this distribution? X 0, 1, 2, 3 up to dot dot dot, and fi is a f0, f1, f2, f3. This is the representation, right? Okay. The one probability mass is what? F2, right? So F2 equal to, just we put I equal to 2, right? If we put I equal to 2, then we get F2, and F2 is what? E to the power minus mu into mu square by 2. Alright. Since parameter mu greater than 0, then we can write Fi equal to this result, and summation of Fi is 1 after using this result. This is the important theoretic part of this chapter, Poisson distribution. And for this Poisson distribution बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम आएगा. And these PMF of Fi satisfies two fundamental properties of PMF. These are the properties. Okay. And similarly cases where Poisson distribution fits, ये वाले चीज एक बार रीड कर लेना, ठीक है, बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, ठीक, जस्ट रीड दिस. Case where Poisson distribution fits. Okay, this is the basic things. Just read कर लेना एक बार. Okay, all right. Is there, if you face any difficulty, any doubt, then feel free to ask me. Okay, कोई doubt होगा तो please बताना. And there is another important theorem. If x is a Poisson variate with the parameter mu, then mean of x is mu and variance of x is again mu. Right? Poisson, x is a Poisson variate, okay, with parameter mu, and the mean of x is mu. Then first one is a key. क्या है ना, mean of x. What is mean of x is what? This is mu. And variance of x is what? This is also. This is a very important properties of the Poisson distributions. Very important theorem of Poisson distribution. Okay. All right. Clear? Clear हो तो बताना. Then we'll discuss next things. Okay. चलो. Next, moment of, just a minute. Next, क्या है ना, moment of Poisson variate. This is not more than importance. Just there is a theorem, moments about 0. X is a Poisson distribution with parameter mu. Then moments about 0 are mu1 dash equal to mu, mu2 dash equal to what? Mu square plus mu, mu3 dash equal to mu cube plus 3 mu square plus mu, and mu to the power 4, mu4 dash means mu to the power 4, 6 mu cube, 7 mu square plus mu. This is the moments about the 0. Okay. And theorem 2. What is the theorem 2? If Ax has Poisson distribution of parameter mu, then the central moments are mu1 equal to 0 and mu3 equal to mu, mu2 equal to mu, and mu4 equal to mu4 equal to 3 mu square plus mu. Okay. This is another theorem. So this is the two important theorems of this Poisson distribution. And another theorem is let the random variable x follows the binomial distribution with PMF, and Fi is given. Fi is what? Fi is the formula of the binomial distribution. एफ आई का फॉर्म क्या है ना, ये तो बायनोमियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का फॉर्म होगा, एफ आई इक्वल टू एन सी आई पी टू दी पावर आई वन माइनस पी होल टू दी पावर एन माइनस आई, and n and p are the parameters. If n goes to infinity and p goes to 0 such that np equal to mu, fixed quantity, and then after limit goes n goes to infinity, then nci p to the power I into 1 minus p whole to the power n minus I equal to, this is the form. And this form is very important. This form is very important. For any fixed I and fi is a binomial distribution. Right? Fi is a binomial distribution and fi is equivalent to fi of Poisson distribution. Here the binomial distribution and Poisson distributions are equal. Clear? Okay. And next, for these, on base of this theorem, there is an example. I think everybody sees the example. Everybody already seen the example. Let a box contain 200 fuses and experience tells that 2% of such fuses are defective. Let us consider the experiments of drawing fuses and text whether this is defective or not. This is a very important theorem. Using binomial distribution, you can solve this theorem, solve this problem. So be careful and solve the problem. Right? X is a binomial distribution with parameter n, where n is the total number of fuses, the box containing how much numbers of elements. So here the box containing total number of 200 fuses na. तो बॉक्स में क्या 200 fuses है, so n equal to 200 and p equal to what, 2% of such fuses are defective, so 2% mean 2 by 100, that's why we can write 0.2. 2% such fuses are defective, that's why we can write 0.2. Then the pmf of x is what, fi, right? The binomial distribution. So fi equal to nci p to the power I into 1 minus p whole to the power n minus I, where n is what? N is 200. Here n is 200. Total 200 fuses. So n is 200 and I is what? I, we don't know about I, right? Then using these previous theorem, limit n tends to infinity, nci whole p to the power I into 1 minus p whole to the power n minus I. What is the form? इसका फॉर्म क्या है? इसका फॉर्म इज e to the power minus mu to the power I by I factorial. This is the form. Right? So in this form we can represent as, right, the Poisson, we can represent as a p less than x less than equal to 3, y p less than x less than equal to 3. Actually the in the question experiment the drawing of fuses and testing whether this is defective or not. Okay, so this is the important question. Okay, next some example is needed. चलो देख लो, एक बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल दिया. एग्जाम्पल 1 में दिया था, फॉर ए पॉइजन variate if p x equal to 2 and p x equal to 1 and find p of x equal to 1 and or 0, right? So x equal to 1 or 0 is what? X equal to either 1 or 0, right? And find the mean of x and third moment of x about 0, right? Third moment of x about 0 means mu dash 3, right? And mu dash 3 का form क्या है? We already mentioned mu dash 3 क्या होगा? This is moment about 0. Mu is known as moment about 0. And third moment means what? Third moment means is mu 3 dash. This is my third moment. So third moment is mu 3 dash. So म्यू 3 डैश क्या होगा? म्यू 3 डैश इक्वल टू द थर्ड मोमेंट अबाउट 0. सो म्यू 3 डैश इक्वल टू म्यू क्यूब प्लस 3 म्यू स्क्वायर प्लस म्यू अकॉर्डिंग टू द थ्योरम. तो थ्योरम का जो सारे रिजल्ट है ना उसको मतलब याद करना बहुत जरूरी है. मतलब if you don't know the theorem, previous theorem, you can't solve this problem. तो पिछले वाले जो थ्योरम है ना वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो उसको मतलब रिमाइंड करना जरूरी है प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के लिए. ठीक है, चलो नेक्स्ट. And this is another example we already given. This is the same type like that. So please solve this problem. And after that example 5. So example 5 में क्या है था? If a random variable has a Poisson distribution such that P1 equal to P2, then the mean of the distribution and standard deviation, and the third one is a Px equal to 4. So find the mean first. Mean is the mean of the distribution is 2, right? Using the formula, okay. And variance is what? Variance is the mu. Mu is what? Mu is the 2. Using this previous mean finding step, right? And Px equal to 4. Actually, we find Px equal to 4. We have to find, this is my question, what is the Px equal to 4? And Px equal to 4 is, right? Up to this portion, up to this problem, is there any doubt or any queries, right? बुक में बहुत सारे मतलब प्रॉब्लम, बहुत सारे थ्योरम, बहुत सारे एक्सरसाइज है. मतलब उतना तो नहीं करूंगा ना, तो इसीलिए हम शॉर्ट नोट्स और शॉर्ट प्रॉब्लम में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर लिया. 6 coins are tossed 400 times. Using the Poisson distribution, find the approximate of the probability getting head each time. This is another important problem. I think is clear to all, na? Right? Using Px equal to 8, then you get the form. And example 8, this is another important example. 2% of item made by the machine are defective. Find the probability of 3 or more items are defective in the samples of 100 items, right? Then find the probability. Okay, this is very important problem. So I think in this solve, I think all are clear, na? This solve is clear to all. Please comment. This solve is clear to all. X is the number of defective item, right? Using the binomial, again we use the binomial f I equal to NCI p to the power I into 1 minus I whole to 1 minus p whole to the power n minus I. Using this binomial law, and we get the required probability. All right. And some problems like if the Poisson's if for a Poisson variate x, e of x square equal to something, and find the ex and variance x, find the expectations of x and find the variance of x. This is very important problem. Another problem is for a binomial distribution. For a binomial distribution, the mean is 3 and the variance is 2. Then find the values of n and p, and find the probability that x, the variable value is 5, right? And next problem is the discrete random variable x has a mean 6, variance 2. Assuming the distribution is binomial, then find the probability. What is the probability of x? X lies on 5 to 7, right? X lies on 5 to 7. And C 16 is what? If the probability of success is 0, 1, how many trials are necessary? That order at the probability of at least one success is less than greater than half. So these 17 problem is also important. Poisson distribution in mu, and what is its standard deviations, And if a random variable follows the Poisson distribution and some condition is there, P1 equal to P2, then means of the distribution, and P4. And 19 is a very important. X is a Poisson variate such that P of x equal to 1 equal to 0.2 and P of x equal to 2 equal to 0.2, then P of x equal to 0 is 1. So these all are the problem is very important problem. And another one problem like this is a basic long answer type problem, right? If assume that 50% of all engineering students are good in mathematics, determine the probability of 18 engineering students. Exactly 10, exactly at least 10, at most 10, at least 2, and 9. I think this chapter is almost covered. So in this chapter, if we summarize, हम summarize करेंगे तो क्या क्या मिलेगा, क्या क्या मिला हम देख दे ऑलरेडी तो देखो हम क्या क्या मिला इस फोर्थ चैप्टर में। देखो फोर्थ चैप्टर में हम पहले देखा बायनोमियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का फॉर्म क्या है, और एक बार मैं छोटा सा समराइज कर देता हूँ, ठीक है। और ये वाले प्रॉब्लम बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये मैकआउट 2024 में आया भी। The bank receive average 2.45 customer per hour. Find the probability that certain hour bank receives and no customer, exactly 4 customer. No customer, that is P of x equal to 0. Exactly 4 customer, that is P of x equal to 4. Assume the number of customer is given hour is Poissonally distribute, right? तो हम क्या क्या डिस्कस किया ना, चलो एक बार देख लेते हैं। हम क्या क्या डिस्कस किया ना, देखो फर्स्ट हम डिस्कस किया बायनोमियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, एंड बायनोमियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन को ही यूज करके, जो बायनोमियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है ना वही यूज करके हम सारे प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व किया इन चैप्टर 4 में। ओके, तो उसके बाद हम देखा था, क्या देखा मतलब मूवमेंट ऑफ बायनोमियल वेरिएबल्स। ओके, मूवमेंट ऑफ बायनोमियल वेरिएबल्स में मूवमेंट्स अबाउट द जीरो, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अपकमिंग एग्जामिनेशन। मूवमेंट्स अबाउट the zero, what is moments about the zero, and some theorems of moments about the zero, this is very important। This is the very important, and some theorem like central moments, theorem of some central moments like mu2 equal to we see np into 1 minus p, theorem of some central moment, right? Is a here parameter p and n, and the central moments is mu2 is n in np into 1 minus p. We have seen mu3, we have seen mu4, right? So these are the all important formula of the central moments, and we see some examples and some exercise also about this binomial distribution, right? So this is very important chapter for your upcoming third semester examination है। इसके बाद क्या था ना, इसके बाद था Poisson distributions, right? इसके बाद था Poisson distribution, this is also important। तो इसके बाद था Poisson distribution, this is also important, and moments of Poisson variate, this is not more than important, not more important, but still Poisson distribution से प्रॉब्लम आएगा, ठीक है। चलो तो चैप्टर 4 आई थिंक फिनिश, we discuss all the problems in for chapter 4, all types of problem we have discussed। ये सारे प्रॉब्लम देखना पड़ेगा, ये सारे प्रॉब्लम प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ेगा, तो वो बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व दे दिया, और बहुत सारे भी एक्सरसाइज भी दिया, बहुत सारे एक्सरसाइज न्यू न्यू टाइप का एक्सरसाइज भी दिया। तो कोई मतलब सॉल्व करने के टाइम कोई प्रॉब्लम होगा तो फील फ्री टू आस्क मी in comments, in YouTube video comments, and in groups, anything, any types of problem you face, then feel free to ask me, right? Any problem, so please carefully solve करना, ठीक है? सारे प्रॉब्लम एक साथ लेके सॉल्व करना, ठीक है? चैप्टर 1, चैप्टर 2, चैप्टर 3 वी ऑलरेडी डिस्कस इन प्रीवियस क्लास। तो आज डिस्कस कर रहा है चैप्टर 4। ऑलरेडी चैप्टर 4 डिस्कस कर चुका, तो मतलब ऑलरेडी हमारा जो चैप्टर 4 है ना वो डिस्कस कर दिया मैं। वो चैप्टर 4 का जो सारे डिस्कशन है ना वो कंप्लीट हो गया, सारे प्रॉब्लम में बोल दिया। तो उसके बाद हम डिस्कस करेंगे चैप्टर 5। क्या है ना चैप्टर 5 में क्या क्या चीज है, चलो देख लीजिए। चैप्टर 5 का एक इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है चैप्टर 5 का और एक इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है ना। चैप्टर 5 में क्या क्या है? डिस्क्रीट जॉइंट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, discrete joint distribution, and very important terms Chebyshev's inequality, right? Discrete joint distributions and Chebyshev's inequality, okay? All right, चलो देख लो। तो suppose discrete random variable x assume 4 possible values. So what is the possible values? x1, x2, x3 and x4. We assume 4 possible values, and corresponding each of these values let another variable y assume 3 possible values. Suppose y1, y2, y3. If you could draw the composite table like x1, x2, x3, x4 and y1, y2, y3, then we can multiply, cross multiply, right? In this way we can cross multiply, right? Say x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, x4, y4, right? Clear? तो देखो x1, y1, x2, y1, right? x2, y1, x3, y1, x4, y1. Then after that x2, y1, y2, x1, y2, x2, y2, x3, y2, x4, y2. All right. Then okay, we discuss again. How to write Cayley table? Say x1, y1, x2, y1, x3, y1, x4, y1. Again x1, y2, x2, y2, x3, y2, x4, y2. Again x1, y3, x2, y3, x3, y3, x4, y3. All right. Then we get the composition table, okay, and find x equal by x equal to xi and y equal to yi. Yi we mean that even x equal to xi and y equal to yn occur simultaneously. Then capital X equal to xi means xi y1, xi y2, xi y, right? Clear? This is the representation of joint distribution like that, right? उसके बाद नेक्स्ट टॉपिक क्या है? joint distribution of two random variables. तो दो रैंडम वेरिएबल गिवन है, उसका जॉइंट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कैसे मिलेगा? x is x1, x2, x3 up to xm, and y is any random variable assuming the values xi. Then y equal to y1, y2, y3 dot dot yn, right? So again we can draw the composite table. So we have drawn the composite table. This is the composite table, and even the number of values in xi, yj in above the table is known as bivariate data, right? This is a very important key tools. What is bivariate data? And after that, Pij is the probability of assuming pair xi yi by xy. Then P of xi yj equal to P of x equal to xi and y equal to yj, right? Everybody clear now? And summation of means P of xi means what? Summation of Pi j, and P of yj means summation of I equal to 1 to a. P of xi means what values are varies? P of x I1, I2, I3, I4 means second values are varies, right? So we can write summation of j equal to 1 Pij, and P of yj means P of 1j, P of 2j, like dot 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 P of mj. So I equal to 1 to m Pij, right? So total I equal to 1 to m P of xi and equal to j to 1 to n P of yj. So this the above table represents the joint distribution of bivariate xy. So this is the representation of joint distribution. All right, understand now? So the row wise p totals p of xi and column wise total p of yj is called marginal probability mass of xy respectively. So these all terms are very important for solving any type of problem. So please be careful and uh, please be carefully read the terms and read the theory part first, and after that solve the all problems which I given in suggestions. I mentioned many types of important problem in my PPT, my PDF, right? So जो सारे प्रॉब्लम में पीडीएफ में इंक्लूड किया ना वो सारे प्रॉब्लम बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। तो ये सारे इंपॉर्टेंट प्रॉब्लम को एक साथ करके सॉल्व करना है आप लोगों को। बट ये सारे प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के पहले ना अच्छे से एक बार जो सारे थ्योरी मतलब ये पीडीएफ में अटैच किया, पिछले दिन बहुत सारे थ्योरी भी बोला, आज भी बहुत सारे थ्योरी बोल रहा हूँ ना, तो ये जो थ्योरी में डिस्कस किया वो सारे थ्योरी फर्स्ट एक बार रिकॉल कर लेना, उसके बाद प्रॉब्लम पे ध्यान देना, ठीक है? चलो, so Pij means P of x equal to I, y equal to P of x equal to I, sorry this is like xi, and y equal to yj is a joint probability mass with the bivariate xy. Then P of x equal to xi, what is the representation? P of y equal to yj, this is another representation, and x will the probability distribution, and this distribution is called the marginal distribution of x, similarly marginal distribution of y. Okay, all right. This was the marginal distribution, and after that independent random variable xy with a pair of random variable having joint distribution in discuss above. We already discussed what is joint distribution. Okay, so pair of random variable having joint distribution, and Pij equal to Pxi into Pyj. It is P of x equal to xi, y equal to yj. It is P of x equal to xi into P of y equal to yj wholes. So this is very trivial things, and x and y are called independent random. तो इंडिपेंडेंट का कंडीशन क्या था पिछले दिन में देखा था ना, P of A into P of B, here also same things, P of x equal to xi into P of y equal to y. And this is another example, bivariate data of the joint distribution given, then find P of x equal to 0.2, y equal to 5 and 9 and 7. This is given. This is the question. Find P of x equal to 2, y equal to 5. That is a question. Okay. I think समझ गया ना. And joint distribution function. इसके बाद क्या है ना, joint distribution function. xy bivariate having joint probability masses pij. Then two variable functions f of xy defined f of xy equal to p minus infinity less than x less than small x and minus infinity less than capital Y small y. Is called joint distribution function or the joint cumulative probability distribution function of f of xy. And how to define, so capital F of x is a p minus infinity x to x and minus infinity y to. This is the important definitions, right? Joint distribution function. This is very important definitions, and using these definition, this is the problem. Find f of 1 2, right? So how can we define f of 1 2? Minus infinity less than x less than equal to 1 and minus infinity less than y less than equal to 2, and using this we can get this. Clear? Okay. And another very important property is this is the sum of the independent random variable, and this is the theorem. If x and y are two independent random variable having binomial distribution with parameter m and p and m comma p and n comma p respectively, then the sum of x plus y is has binomial distribution with the parameter m plus n comma p. Clear to all? This is very important theorem, okay? And what is the theorem 2? See, what is the theorem 2? Theorem 2 is same type. X and y are two independent random variables having Poisson distribution with parameter mu1 and mu2. Okay. Mu1 and mu2 is the Poisson distribution with parameter, right? Then their sum x plus y क्या होगा ना? X plus y equal to mu1 plus mu2. Clear? And next, after that, bivariate expectations. Xy is a bivariate. Then Pij equal to P of x equal to xi and y equal to yj. Marginal probability masses P of xi and P of yj. Then the expectation of the two variable function phi of xy, right? Two variable function means there is two variables like x1 is a one variable is x, another variable is y. So e of phi of xy. So e of phi of xy is a summation of ijp. Is a one variable function phi x. That is see, there is two variable function. There is two variable one x one y and another one variable function one x, right? And one variable function phi y. This is a phi of e of phi y, right? Okay. And theorems on expectations. So xy be the bivariate of the joint probability and p equal to x equal to xi and y equal to yj equal to pij. Then the joint distribution of xy equal to e of x plus y can represent as a e of x plus y को हम ऐसे रिप्रेजेंट कर सकता है e of x plus minus we can write here minus also, then e of x plus minus e of y, right? So e of x plus y. देखो स्टूडेंट्स, ये वाले जो प्रूफ है ना, this is very important proof for your upcoming examinations. So कुछ कुछ शॉर्ट थ्योरम है ना, उसका प्रूफ का जरूरत है आपको एग्जाम के लिए. So this is the that type of important theorems which is important for examinations, which proves is, उसका प्रूफ जो है ना, मतलब ये e of x प्लस माइनस y इक्वल टू e of x प्लस माइनस e of y, इसका जो प्रूफ है ना, इसका प्रूफ भी एग्जामिनेशन के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. देखो हम जो मतलब पिछले 6 मंथ में जो क्लास लिया ना, उस क्लास में सारे प्रूफ डिस्कस कर चुका ऑलरेडी. मतलब ये वाले जो प्रूफ है ये शायद डिस्कस कर दिया, तो मैं डिस्कस अभी नहीं करूंगा, बट दिस इज द इम्पोर्टेंट प्रूफ फॉर अपकमिंग एग्जामिनेशंस. सो प्लीज केयरफुली एक बार रीड कर लेना, कोई डाउट हो तो, कोई दिक्कत हो तो बताना, ठीक है? एंड दिस इज द फॉर 4 वेरिएबल्स. 4 वेरिएबल्स के लिए क्या होगा फॉर्मूला? e of x plus y plus z plus w is e of x plus e of y plus e of z plus e of w. This is the formula. All right. And another theorem is e of xy equal to e of x into e of y. When e of xy equal to e of x into e of y, if x and y are independent random variable, x and y both independent random variable होगा तो we can write e of xy equal to e of x into e of. I think is it clear to all? तो ये वाले जो प्रूफ है थियोरम है ना, ये भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, इसीलिए हम सजेशन पे मेंशन कर दिया. देखो हमारा जो ये थर्ड सेमिस्टर का पूरा सिलेबस है ना, वो हम ऑलरेडी मतलब ब्रीफली डिस्कस कर दिया. मतलब जो क्लास हुआ, मतलब कैसे 6 मंथ का जो क्लास था ना, उस क्लास में ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर दिया सारे प्रूफ, सारे प्रॉब्लम्स, जो जो प्रॉब्लम इंपॉर्टेंट है, जो जो थियोरम का प्रूफ जरूरत है, वो सारे हम डिस्कस कर दिया ऑलरेडी. फिर हम ये एग्जाम के टाइम थोड़ा बहुत रिवीजन के लिए ये सजेशन सेशन लेकर आया यूट्यूब पे. तो आप भी अपकमिंग जो सेमिस्टर है, फर्स्ट सेम के लिए ये सेकेंड सेमिस्टर होगा और थर्ड सेम के लिए फोर्थ सेम होगा, तो मेरा सजेशन यही था, जिस जो सारे स्टूडेंट है ना ठीक से मतलब प्रिपरेशन नहीं कर पाया, बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम मतलब सारे सब्जेक्ट नॉट ओनली मैथमेटिक्स अच्छे से प्रिपरेशन नहीं कर पाया, तो मेरा सजेशन यही है, अपकमिंग जो सेमिस्टर आएगा ना, मतलब ये सेकेंड सेम, फर्स्ट सेम के लिए सेकेंड सेम आएगा और थर्ड सेम के लिए फोर्थ सेम आएगा, तो हमारा ट्यूशन का फीस बहुत कम है. देखो एक बार देखा तो देखो हमारा ये बीटेक का ट्यूशन का फीस बहुत कम है फोर्थ सेमिस्टर के लिए. 1999 फॉर 6 मंथ के लिए, ये पूरा सेमिस्टर के लिए 1999 एंड सेकेंड सेमिस्टर के लिए 1599 फॉर ऑल डिपार्टमेंट। तो 1599 is very less amount for 6 months. So I suggest you, आप बिलीव कीजिए हम लोगों का जो क्लास है, हम लोगों का जो मटेरियल्स है, हम लोगों का जो सजेशन है, और सेकेंड सेमिस्टर के लिए एडमिशन के लिए कांटेक्ट कीजिए। एंड फोर्थ सेम के लिए भी 1999 हमारा बैच का फीस है। तो ये 6 मंथ के लिए आप तक, फोर्थ सेमिस्टर का फाइनल एग्जाम तक, ठीक है, ये वाले फीस। तो आई सजेस्ट यू, मतलब विदाउट एनी टाइप्स ऑफ हेजिटेशन, आप हमारा जो मतलब बीटेक का अपकमिंग ट्यूशंस है उसमें रजिस्टर कर सकता है, ठीक है। मतलब ये वाले नंबर हमारा हेल्पलाइन नंबर है, तो आप चाहे तो इस नंबर से कांटेक्ट करके मतलब एडमिशन ले सकता है। ये वाले प्राइस ऑफर प्राइस है। हमारा जो मतलब नेक्स्ट सेम का क्लास है ना, वो स्टार्ट होगा मतलब 1 अप्रैल से। तो ये ऑफर प्राइस मतलब में अभी तक ऑफर प्राइस में आप एडमिशन ले लीजिए। कोई दिक्कत हो तो मतलब कॉल कर लेना इस नंबर पे, ठीक है। चलो, आपको मतलब सारे गाइडेंस में आपको मतलब जो सारे गाइडेंस है ना, ये इजी टू लर्निंग से मिल जाएगा, ठीक है। तो चिंता मत कीजिए, आप अच्छे से पढ़ाई पे ध्यान दो। एक्चुअली क्या है ना, हमारा बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट है, वो रिक्वेस्ट हम लोगों को पास रिक्वेस्ट किया, तो उसीलिए हम हिंदी पे भी कोर्स स्टार्ट किया, ठीक है। बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट हम लोगों को रिक्वेस्ट किया, सर क्यों हिंदी का क्लास नहीं स्टार्ट कर रहा है। तो इसीलिए हम सोच लिया, तो मैथमेटिक्स और सारे सब्जेक्ट का हिंदी तो इतना मतलब क्रिटिकल नहीं है ना। सब्जेक्ट का हिंदी तो ठीक ठाक ही है, मतलब सब्जेक्ट में तो ज्यादा तो हिंदी नहीं है ना। तो इसीलिए हम हम लोग मतलब डिसाइड ये वाले डिसीजन लिया, चलो हिंदी में भी हम पैरेलली मतलब आप लोगों के लिए क्लास लेंगे। तो ये थ्योरम 3 में क्या था, देखो एक बार। थ्योरम 3 में था e ऑफ k ऑफ फाइव एक्स वाई इक्वल टू k, बाहर आ गया, एंड e ऑफ फाइव ऑफ एक्स वाई। दिस इज अनदर रिजल्ट, this is important result for problem solving, and this is the theorem for joint distribution xy, and e of k equal to k is the constant, right? Okay, so नेक्स्ट व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक? देखो नेक्स्ट टॉपिक क्या है, कोवेरिएंस ऑफ टू वेरिएबल, राइट? सो कोवेरिएंस का फॉर्मूला क्या होगा? देखो कोवेरिएंस का फॉर्मूला इज कोवेरिएंस ऑफ एक्स वाई इक्वल टू एक्सपेक्टेशन ऑफ एक्स माइनस एक्स बार इनटू वाई माइनस वाई बार. दिस इज द फॉर्मूला ऑफ कोवेरिएंस. ओके, where x bar is the mean of x and y bar is the mean of y, right? This is the covariance formula. And correlation coefficient, that is rho xy equal to covariance of xy by sigma x into sigma y. Okay, and sigma x is the standard variation of x and sigma y is the standard variation of y, right? This is very important formula. And the probability of assuming this, this is an important example. Find the covariance and correlation coefficient between the variable x and y. In this chapter, this type of problem is very important. Find the covariance and correlation coefficient between the variable x and y, right? This is very important things for this chapter, the covariance and correlation coefficients between the variable x and y. Okay, so this is very important. And ये वाले जो प्रॉब्लम है ना, देखो this problem is very very important for your upcoming examination. I think clear to everyone. E of first find E of xy and find E of x and E of y, then using the relation of covariance of xy. Now what is the formula of covariance of xy? We already seen E of x minus x bar, right? So using this, actually there is some properties of covariance, right? So one property is a covariance of xy equal to, we can write E of, okay, just write the properties. Okay, covariance का दो property है. Okay, just take the, देखो कोवेरियंस का दो प्रॉपर्टी है. फर्स्ट प्रॉपर्टी क्या है ना, कोवेरियंस के ऊपर दो प्रॉपर्टी है. फर्स्ट प्रॉपर्टी है covariance of x comma y equal to, we can write E of xy minus E of x into E of y. And number two is what? If x and y are independent, x and y are independent, okay, x and y are independent random variable, then covariance of, then their covariance is zero. Okay, right? Then their covariance is zero. This is very important two properties. Using these important two properties, we solved all the problem using covariance, all the problem of covariance. Okay, so here this is the problem. Find the covariance and correlation coefficient. And what is the formula of correlation coefficient? Correlation coefficient का formula है rho of x, rho xy equal to covariance of xy by sigma x sigma y. This is the formula of rho xy. So using these two formula, we solve this problem. Clear to all? So we find E of x square, E of y square, then standard deviation sigma x using this standard deviation formula, and this is a correlation coefficient rho xy equal to this. And another important properties are there, that is correlation coefficient का कुछ बहुत सारे properties है. This is very much important. So properties one is a rho xy is a rho yx. This is very important properties, and rho xy has no unit. It is pure number, right? And third one is a UV another bivariate. Sorry. Third one is a u v another bivariate such that u equal to x plus b and v equal to cy plus d. Then rho u v is this. Okay. And property 4. This is the property 4. This is also very important properties. And property 6. If the random variable x and y are independent, then rho xy equal to 0 and xy are uncorrelated. Right? So, so property 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is very important properties of correlations. Clear? I think clear to all, everyone. Property 5 is not mentioned here. Okay. Property 5 is a minus 1 less than equal to rho xy and less than equal to 1. Right? So rho xy lies on minus 1 to 1. And converse of this property is true, not true. So this is the counter example, and this example is very important. J, the converse of this property. So x and y is independent, then rho xy is 0. If rho xy is 0 means xy independent, then rho xy 0 means that is x and y are uncorrelated. If rho xy are 0, that is xy are uncorrelated, then x and y may not be independent. So the converse property is not true. So converse property is not true. Is there any counter example? This is the counter example. So this is very important for your examinations. So after solving these counter examples, see, x and y are not independent. Okay. And after the variance of sum of two variables, variance of x plus y, we can write as a variance of x plus variance of y plus 2 covariance of xy, and variance of x minus y you can write as the variance of x plus variance of y minus 2 covariance of xy. And another theorem is a very important theorem, theorem 3, variance of x plus by a square. We put a square outside the variance and b square is also outside the variance. So if there is a variance of xy, formula question is variance of x, ax plus by, a b any constant, if suppose I give you variance of 2x plus 3y, you can write 2 ka square into variance of x plus 3 ka square. Suppose I give you variance of 2x plus 3y, then you can write easily 2a square into variance of x plus 3a square into variance of y. This is very important properties of variance. And x and y are independent, then variance of ax plus by equal to a square variance of x plus b square variance of y. And theorem 4 is what? X1, x2 dot xn, the n random variables, then we can write variance of x1 plus x2 plus dot xn. And more generally we can write this way. Okay. कॉरोलरी, इसके बाद जो कॉरोलरी है, दे आर इफ दे आर पेयर वाइज इंडिपेंडेंट देन कोवेरिएंस ऑफ xi कॉमा xj इक्वल टू 0 फॉर I नॉट इक्वल टू j एंड वेरिएंस ऑफ x1 प्लस x2 प्लस xn इक्वल टू समेशन ऑफ वेरिएंस ऑफ x. Okay, after that there is a theorem. If the random variable x1 x2 xn are independent, each has same variance sigma square, then variance of x bar equal to sigma square by n. X bar is the mean of xi. Okay, this is very important theorem. Another very important theorem. I think this is enough for this chapter. Discrete joint distribution के लिए ये वाले theorem enough है. Up to discrete joint distribution, we covered all the theorem up to discrete joint distribution, right? So please carefully follow all the theorems, all the statement, all the corollary and all the property and result, right? This is very important properties result for solving the problem. So I try to summarize all the theorem very shortly. देखो क्या है ना, बुक में जो बहुत सारे प्रॉपर्टीज, बहुत सारे थियोरम, बहुत सारे प्रूफ है, तो हम लोगों को ज्यादा थियोरम का प्रूफ एंड बहुत सारे प्रॉपर्टीज ये सब का नेसेसरी नहीं है ना. तो इसीलिए मैं जो थियोरम, जो प्रॉपर्टीज, जो डेफिनेशंस, जो कॉरोलरी इंपॉर्टेंट है, मैं जस्ट मेंशन कर रहा हूं. तो उसके बाद हम थोड़ा बहुत प्रॉब्लम देख लेंगे. ठीक है, चलो. तो देखो ये वाले प्रॉब्लम देख लो. In a joint distribution xy, the marginal distribution xy are xy are respectively, then x is this and y is this and p of xy and p of, and if covariance of xy is half, then construct the joint distribution. X and y are the x and y are independent. Check this and p of x equal to 5, y equal to 6 and p of x. Okay, next example 2. This is very important example. Find the marginal distribution and find are the two variables are independent or not, and find the correlation coefficient of x. And another problem, this is also very important problem, right? So please check the problem, and this problem is very important for your upcoming examinations. Okay, and example 6, another problem, right? The two discrete random variable x and y are jointly distributed with p x equal to 2 and p y equal to 3 and p y equal to 4. Then find the correlation coefficient between x and y and probability distribution x plus. Okay, all right. And example 7, this is very important example. X and y are same standard deviation, then prove that x plus y and x minus y are uncorrelated. Okay. And after that, this is another problem. This is also important, and this is another problem. X and y are two independent random variable having standard deviation sigma 1 and sigma 2. Prove that correlation coefficient of x and x plus y is. Okay, this is another important problem, and this is two discrete random variable x and y are connected. देखो सारे प्रॉब्लम में मतलब क्वेश्चन करके दे दिया, बट you face any difficulty to solve this problem, please feel free to ask me. Please mention the comment or our easy to learning BTech group, anything, anywhere, any place. Okay, I can assure you I'll solve the problem. ठीक है, ये सारे प्रॉब्लम मैं सॉल्व कर दूंगा. ठीक है, तो अच्छे से प्रॉब्लम को देख लो, चेक कर लो केयरफुली. इतना तो एश्योर कर सकता हूँ, मतलब इस प्रॉब्लम, ये जो सारे टाइप दे दिया ना, इस टाइप के बाहर बहुत कम प्रॉब्लम, ये सारे टाइप इनफ आपका अपकमिंग एग्जाम के लिए, ठीक है। इसके बाहर ज्यादा टाइप नहीं है। तो जो जो टाइप में हाँ हमने दिया ना, ये दिस इज एनफ फॉर योर थर्ड सेमिस्टर एग्जामिनेशंस। पिछले दिन में बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम कराया, तो चैप्टर 1, चैप्टर 2, चैप्टर 3 का, और आज भी चैप्टर 4 ऑलरेडी कवर कर चुका, और चैप्टर 5 का कंटिन्यू, चैप्टर 5 और चैप्टर 6 आज, चैप्टर 5, चैप्टर 6, चैप्टर 7, चैप्टर 5, चैप्टर 6, चैप्टर 7 आज ट्राई कर रहा हूँ, मतलब कंप्लीट करने का, बट स्टिल वी आर ट्राइंग। चलो, एग्जाम्पल 16 इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड एग्जाम्पल 17 इज, मतलब मेरे पीडीएफ का हिसाब से एग्जाम्पल 18 नहीं है, बट two balls are drawn, right? This is very important example. Find the joint distribution, covariance of xy, correlation coefficient of xy, and variance of x plus y, right? This is very important. Then after that, क्या है ना, Chebyshev's inequality. This is another important part. Chebyshev's inequality बहुत important part for your upcoming BTech third sem. So Chebyshev's inequality एक बार read कर लेना, ठीक है, this paragraph. X is a random variable with mean x bar, okay, and then for any arbitrary epsilon greater than 0, p of x minus x bar less than epsilon equal to greater than epsilon less than equal to 1 by epsilon square into variance of x, okay. इसके चेबिशेव इनइक्वालिटी से बहुत सारे एग्जांपल है. वेरीफाई द चेबिशेव इनइक्वालिटी फॉर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. यूजिंग दिस फॉर्मूला वी हैव टू वेरीफाई दिस, राइट. Using this formula we have to verify this problem. All right, so after that there is another problem. Prove that if variance of x equal to 0, then prove that p of mu x equal to mu equal to 1. Here mu is a mean of x. And another problem, right? This is another problem, and this is another important problem. So by the Chebyshev inequality, using Chebyshev inequality, solve this problem, okay. And this is another problem. X bar equal to 75, y bar equal to 75, variance of x equal to 10, variance of y equal to 12, and covariance of x equal to -3. Find the maximum probability of the event. This is another important problem, and I mentioned one problem like find p of x equal to 2, p of y equal to 2, p of x equal to 2 by p of y equal to 2, x bar y bar, right? And sigma x sigma y, p of xy, and xy are independent, then what is? And another two problems. This is problem 3, problem 4. This is very important problem for your examinations. And another two problems. This is one problem, and this is another. Okay, this is very important. Find the R check. You have to check x and y are independent or not. Are x and y are independent? For this case, one case is two bias coins are tossed. X is 1, first coin shows head. X equal to 0, first coin shows tail. Y equal to 1, second coin shows head. X equal to 0, second coin shows tail. Right. This is another problem. And next, there is a problem 28. X, y takes value 1, 2, and 3. Then find the expectation of x, and p of x I y is equal to j. Define, find the x, y, x plus y, covariance of x and variance of x plus y. And after that 29, 23, 30, 31. These all are important problems for upcoming examination. So I think chapter 4 is covered. Right? Chapter 4, no, not chapter 4. Chapter 4 and chapter 5 is covered. So today we covered discrete distributions, right? Special type of discrete distribution, discrete joint distribution, and Chebyshev's inequality. Okay, we have covered three topics. Now we start continuous probability distribution. ओके, सो कॉन्टिन्यूअस प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशंस में क्या है, प्रोबेबिलिटी डेंसिटी फंक्शंस एंड कॉन्टिन्यूअस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. चलो देखते हैं. So continuous, next chapter, chapter 6. Probability density function, right? Next question is the probability density function. So probability density function and continuous distribution. This is very important. Okay, so suppose I give you a random variable x be a random variable. Suppose I give you x is a continuous random variable. Okay, this is a continuous random variable with distribution function fx equal to p minus infinity less than x less than infinity. Sorry, less than x, small x. Okay, all right, less than equal to small x. Then function fx is known as probability density function PDF of x if fx is integrable and fx is integrable on the interval what, now a comma x, right, for all a, and if fx equal to minus infinity to x ft dt, these hold for every real x. Okay, this is the basic definitions, okay, of PDF, right? PDF means probability density function. This is the basic definition of probability density function. This is very important things. Okay, all right. Next, some fundamental properties is needed for PDF, right? Some fundamental properties also needed. Fundamental properties of PDF. तो PDF का कुछ फंडामेंटल प्रॉपर्टीज भी needed है ना. तो फर्स्ट क्या है ना, if fx is a PDF of random variable x, then we can write first one is a fx greater than equal to 0 and second one is a minus infinity to infinity fx dx equal to 1, right? Fundamental properties of PDF. If fx is a PDF of random variable x, then we can write fx greater than 0, and second one is what? Minus infinity to infinity fx ds equal to 1. And I think clear to all, na? And there is another important thing, so the density curve. So please check the what about the density curve. This is the important definition of density curve, right? This is very important. Y equal to fx, suppose curve is called density curve, means it has a graphical representation. What is the meaning of density curve? It has a graphical representation corresponding to continuous distribution, right? So this is known as density curve. Okay. And another important theorem in this chapter, like expectations expectation or mean of a continuous random variable. Expectations or mean of a continuous random variable. Okay. तो ex का फॉर्म क्या होगा? ex इक्वल टू माइनस इंफिनिटी टू इंफिनिटी x fx dx. This is the form of ex, right? And similarly, if we define the mean function, suppose we define psi of x is a mean function, right? We define psi of x, this is the mean of function, this is psi of x, is the mean of function of random variable x, random variable x, then we can write e of psi of x equal to minus infinity to infinity psi of x, okay, f of x dx. All right, this is the another important definitions of this chapter, continuous probability distribution. There is some properties of the continuous probability distribution, and after that there is variance and standard deviations. Okay. So so there is some properties of expectations, properties of expectations, some properties of expectations. Okay. So what is the property? First property is e of a equal to a, where a is constant. Next, number two is what? No, e of ax equal to a e of x. Okay, this is the number two. And number 3 is what? Number 3 is E of x plus minus y equal to E of x plus minus E of y, and 4 E of x y equal to E of x E of. All right. If two random variable here, if two random variable x and y are independent. Okay. All right. Clear to all, everyone. So this is the properties of expectations, and after that I already mentions the variance and standard deviation in yesterday. Okay. So just recall the uh, just recall the definitions, variance and standard deviation. Okay, just you recall that the definition, variance and standard deviations. All right, and some properties of variance. This is also important. Properties of variance. This is also important. Okay, चलो ठीक है. Now we come to some important problems, important types of problem in this chapter, right? So first problem is what? First problem is the probability problem 1, the probability density function PDF of random variable x is fx equal to k into x minus 1 into 2 minus x for 1 less than equal to x less than equal to 2. Then find the value of constant k. Then find the value of constant k, first one. And second one is what? Second one is the distribution function fx. The distribution function fx, right? This is the second question. And third question is what? And third question is, देखो हम वेरिएंस और स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन का एक्सप्रेशन और डेफिनेशन नहीं मेंशन किया, और प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ वेरिएंस भी नहीं मेंशन किया. आई थिंक वी ऑलरेडी नो इन प्रीवियस चैप्टर, वी हैव सीन ऑलरेडी. सो वी here we not mention this, right? So please recall these from previous chapter, or please check it carefully. What is the variance, what is the SD standard deviation, and what is the expression of variance, what is the expression of standard deviation, and what is the property of variance. This is very important. Okay, so don't ignore this. So first problem, this is the important problem, and third is the P of 5 by 4 less than equal to x less than equal to 3 by 2. Okay, this is the first questions, and this is very important questions. Okay, and next, second types of important question is what? Chalo dekh lo. Second type of important question is, if the random variable random variable x has PDF if x equal to 1 by minus 1 by if x equal to 1 by 4 minus 2 less than x less than equal to 2, then find one equal to p of x less than 1 and 2 equal to p of mod x minus 1. Right, this is the second question. Very important question. Second one is another important questions. And third type of question like this type of question is very important for third type. Means third question is, this type of question is very important. So actually question क्या है ना, finding the mean value, finding the expectations, finding the variance, finding the probability with this range. This is the important type of question in this chapter. Okay, suppose this question is very important. X is continuous random variable. X is continuous random variable. Okay, having PDF probability density function क्या है ना fx equal to 4x by 5 and when 0 less than x less than 1 and 2 by 5 when 3 into 3 by x when 1 less than x less than equal to 2 and 0 else square, then find the mean value of x. This is another important question. Okay. Question 3, question 4. Find the mean variance of a continuous random variable. Mean and variance continuous random variable having PDF. PDF is what? Fx equal to 1 minus mod of 1 minus x and 0. For this condition 0 less than x less than 2 and elsewhere. Clear? This is another important type of question. क्या है क्वेश्चन में फाइंडिंग द मीन variance and continue of these continuous random variables. Right, this type of question is very important question. Okay, all right, chalo. तो इस चैप्टर से जो सारे क्वेश्चन आएगा ना वो मीन के ऊपर ही आएगा और वेरिएंस के ऊपर ही आएगा और एक्सपेक्टेशंस के ऊपर ही आएगा. ठीक है, तो ज्यादा कंफ्यूज मत हो. ठीक है, देखो कंफ्यूज होने का कोई मतलब please don't confuse. Okay, so this is a very easy chapter. Confuse मत होइए. दिस टाइप ऑफ प्रॉब्लम भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. देखिए, find the find the mean and standard deviations of the continuous random variable having PDF if x equal to 1 by 2 minus kx and 0. Right? This is another problem. And problem 6 is show that the function fx equal to x to the power n by n factorial, okay, e to the power minus x, where x greater than 0 and n being the positive integer, right? N being the positive integer. I think clear ना? देखो ये वाले जो प्रॉब्लम हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं ना, मतलब क्वेश्चन के फॉर्म में दे रहा है ना, ये वाले प्रॉब्लम ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट नहीं है, तो प्लीज ट्राई केयरफुली दिस प्रॉब्लम without any confusions, without any hesitations. Feel free to ask me any time kind of difficulties, any kind of problem. You can ask me any type of questions, okay? पिछले दिन में पिछले पिछले क्लास में भी बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम दे दिया, तो वो वाले प्रॉब्लम लेके आज का जो सारे प्रॉब्लम डिस्कस किया ना, सारे प्रॉब्लम बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके आपका अपकमिंग थर्ड सेमिस्टर का एग्जाम के लिए. तो please be careful and solve all the problem which I mentioned in these two classes. Okay. It's a PDF, so find also it means its mean and variance. Okay, all right. So I think chapter 4 is also complete. No, but still, or 2-3 questions भी important है. I think. Suppose this is the important question. The radius circle has distribution given by PDF fx equal to 1 and 0 when 1 less than x less than 2 and elsewhere. Okay. So find the means, variance and area of the circle. Find the mean, variance of variance of the area of the circle. Okay. I think clear to all. This is very important questions for your upcoming semester examinations. तो दिस टाइप ऑफ जो सारे क्वेश्चंस है ना, ये वाले क्वेश्चंस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. एक दो प्रॉब्लम लिख देता हूँ, चलो, और एक दो इंपॉर्टेंट टाइप्स ऑफ प्रॉब्लम. The PDF of random variable, the PDF of a random variable is fx equal to k into x minus 1 into 2 minus x when x lies on 1 to 2. Then find k, and next one is a CDF, and third one is a the probability that x is less than 5/4. Okay, and question 4 is the probability that 2x is greater than 3. Okay, and question 5 is what? Question 5 is P5 less than 4x less than 6. This is very important question. Okay. So this type of question is very important, and question 9 is suppose a continuous random variable has the PDF fx equal to half and 0, 4 less than equal to x less than equal to 6, and else where, then first one is, then find first one, then find first question is what, then find one is the p4 less than x less than 5. Second question is what, px less than equal to, sorry, p less than 3.2. Third question is what, third question is p of x greater than 4.2. Fourth question is what, fourth question is p3 less than equal to x less than equal to 4.5. And sixth question, fifth question, okay, and sixth question is the fifth question is the p x greater than 5.5. And sixth question is what, sixth question is a CDF, cumulative distribution function. Find the CDF. And seventh question is what, seventh question is a k such that p of x less than k equal to 0.6. Right, this is very important questions, type of question. And 10, another one question I mentioned, if fx equal to, same type of question, kx e to the power minus x, 0 less than equal to x less than infinity, be a continuous distribution, then find k, and also evolute p2 less than equal to x less than 3, and px greater than equal to 1, right? So this is the 10 problem of chapter 6. Okay, so yesterday we covered पिछले दिन हम कवर किया चैप्टर 1, चैप्टर 2, चैप्टर 3। आज हम कवर किया चैप्टर 4, 5, 6। ओके, चैप्टर 4, 5, 6 का सारे theory part like definitions, theorems and all the properties and all the corollaries and all the result we have already covered for chapter 4, 5, 6। ओके, अप टू continuous probability distribution तक। हाँ, तो उसका ये 3 चैप्टर में जो वो सारे इंपॉर्टेंट प्रॉब्लम है मैं ये सारे एनोटेशन कर दिया। ठीक है, तो प्लीज आप सारे प्रॉब्लम सारे रिजल्ट को अच्छे से पढ़ लेना, अच्छे से रिवाइज कर लेना। ठीक है, इस जो सारे प्रॉब्लम दिया ना, इस प्रॉब्लम से सारे टाइप्स ऑफ प्रॉब्लम कवर हो जाएगा शायद। तो डोंट वरी अबाउट द एग्जाम, so please read carefully and follow all the problems and all the result and all the theorems। okay, and जो 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 स्टूडेंट अपकमिंग सेमिस्टर में हमारे साथ जुड़ने में इंटरेस्ट है, तो प्लीज फील फ्री टू कांटेक्ट विद अस। अपकमिंग सेकेंड सेमिस्टर एंड फोर्थ सेमिस्टर का जो बैच है ना, वो स्टार्ट हो रहा है 1 अप्रैल से। तो इस बार बैच बंगाली के साथ साथ हिंदी में भी चलेगा। मतलब जो जो सारे नॉन बंगाली स्टूडेंट है उन लोगों के लिए सारे सब्जेक्ट हम हिंदी से ही पढ़ाऊंगा, बट थोड़ा बहुत हिंदी में हम लोगों का दिक्कत होगा तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। शायद आपका क्या एम है ना, आपका एम यही होना चाहिए, मतलब कैसे चीज को अंडरस्टैंड करना है। ठीक है, कैसे चीज को अच्छे से मतलब कोई टॉपिक और अच्छे से मतलब समझना है, ये आपका एम है। तो इस एम को मतलब फुलफिल करने के लिए हमारा जो अपकमिंग सेमिस्टर का कोर्स है, कोर्स फी इज वेरी लेस। मतलब आपका एक दिन एक वीक का पॉकेट मनी का इक्वल है हमारा ये इजी टू लर्निंग का कोर्स फी। देखो 1599, अब एक दिन रेस्टोरेंट में जाएगा तो मतलब 1599। एक दिन हम रेस्टोरेंट में पेन के साथ जाएगा तो 1599 वेरी स्मॉल अमाउंट, राइट? तो प्लीज डोंट हेजिटेट। हमारा जो अपकमिंग बैच है सेकेंड सेमिस्टर और फोर्थ सेमिस्टर का, उसमें रजिस्ट्रेशन कर लीजिए। हमारा जो कांटेक्ट नंबर है 85 8, डिफरेंट कलर में लिखती हूँ, डिफरेंट कलर में लिख देता हूँ। ठीक है, 8584864783, ये हमारा हेल्पलाइन नंबर है। सारे कोर्स का डिटेल्स के लिए आप कांटेक्ट कर लीजिए। ठीक है, अच्छे से हम सेकेंड सेमिस्टर और फोर्थ सेमिस्टर के लिए पढ़ाई करेंगे। चलो, आज का क्लास यही खत्म करता हूँ। तो नेक्स्ट क्लास में हम स्टार्ट करेंगे क्या ना, स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ कंटिन्यूअस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन। नेक्स्ट क्लास में वी विल डिस्कस द स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ कंटिन्यूअस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन। ठीक है, आज का क्लास यही फिनिश करता हूँ। ओके, तो हम चैप्टर 1 से चैप्टर 1 to चैप्टर 6 ऑलरेडी कवर कर लिया। ठीक है, तो नेक्स्ट डेट में हम चैप्टर 7 और चैप्टर 8 कवर कर दूंगा। ठीक है, तो प्रोबेबिलिटी पार्ट आई थिंक फिनिश हो जाएगा। चैप्टर 7 और चैप्टर 8 में जो जो चीज है उसमें शायद प्रोबेबिलिटी फिनिश हो जाएगा। और चैप्टर 9 से स्टार्ट होगा स्टैटिस्टिक्स। स्टैटिस्टिक्स के लिए भी एक दिन में, 1 और 2 दिन में स्टैटिस्टिक्स भी पूरा आपको ऐसे ही प्रेजेंटेशन मोड में दे दूंगा। ठीक है, सारे थ्योरी, सारे सारे रिजल्ट और सारे प्रॉब्लम। ठीक है, आई थिंक उसके बाद जो प्रोबेबिलिटी स्टैटिस्टिक्स पार्ट का जो सारे प्रॉब्लम एक्सरसाइज और सजेशन पार्ट है वो शायद फिनिश हो जाएगा। चलो आज का क्लास यही खत्म करता हूँ, नेक्स्ट क्लास में फिर मिलेंगे।